Hello and welcome to this lecture where we're going to be looking at recording audio into the playlist. There are other ways of recording audio in FL Studio, such as using Edison. However, this is a very simple and easy way to quickly record audio. Also, in this lecture, I will be recording audio with a microphone, and I have got my audio interface plugged in. So if you'd like to record audio, make sure you have your audio interface all set up, which I showed you how to do in the previous lecture. So the first thing we need to do is select an empty insert in the mixer. And we need to make sure there's no channels in the channel rack being sent to that insert. That's because it will also record in any audio that's coming from these channels. So over here, we have nothing coming into insert 20, so I'm just going to select this one. I'm also going to right click and rename this Shaker Recording, as I will be recording in a shaker. Okay, over here on the inspector, we can select our input on our audio interface that we'd like to record from. I don't want to select stereo input because this is if you want to record with two microphones. For this recording, I'm going to record the shaker with one microphone and it's plugged into input 2 on my audio interface. So down here, I'm going to select input 2. Now we want to make sure there are no plugins on this mixer insert. That's because the audio will come from the input of your audio interface. Then it will go through any plugins that are on this mixer insert channel, and then we'll record through there into the playlist. So for example, if we had any reverb on this mixer channel, it will be recorded into the audio file, and you'll never be able to remove the reverb from this audio recording. So just make sure you don't have any plugins on this insert channel. Okay, now we need to make sure we've armed this channel for recording. And when it's armed, this button will be red. And to turn it on or off, just simply click on this button. Okay, now what we need to do is set an appropriate level for recording. So when recording audio, you want to have a healthy signal, but not too loud that it may clip. So I generally want the meter around -12 to -9 dB. If the signal goes above 0, the audio signal will clip, and that could ruin the audio. So now I'm going to turn up the gain on my microphone preamp until we're at a suitable level. Okay, great. As you can see, it was around that recommended mark. In the playlist, let's now select the area of the track that we'd like to record the audio into. And I'm going to select this section, which is around bars 21 to 25. So from here, I'm going to draw in a cycle region, and I'm just going to make sure global snap is enabled and set up bar. Now on this timeline area, I'm going to command click on Mac or control click on Windows and draw in a cycle region. And now I'm going to make sure I have the counting enabled so I can get a feel for the rhythm before the track begins playing. Okay, and now I'm going to click on the record icon at the top here, and then this window will appear. I want to record the audio into the playlist, so I'm going to select this second option here. And as soon as I select this, the counting will begin. Before we click this though, just double check to make sure you have the correct mixer insert enabled. Okay, as you can see, it recorded the audio into the next available track in the playlist. And you'll also notice that the playback stopped at the end of that cycle region. Also by default, it automatically mutes what you just recorded. And we know this because the audio recording has been grayed out. Now let's turn off Record Enable by clicking on the record button so we can listen back to what we recorded. Okay, great, that seems fine to me. And now we can see this recording has appeared in the channel rack. And we can see by default, it directly gets sent to the master output. However, let's send this to its own channel so we can make it part of the drum group. So I'm just going to choose Insert 8. And then I'm going to change the output of this channel so it goes to the drum group. To do so, I make sure the channel is selected. And then I click on this virtual patch cable. And then I'm going to click on this icon of the drum group. So now it outputs to the drum group. So if we play back now, This allows us to now adjust the level of the shaker. Okay, I'm just going to rename the shaker now in the channel rack by right-clicking and selecting Rename. And let's call this Shaker. And it's also changed the name of the recording in the playlist. I'm also going to rename the shaker insert in the mixer by right-clicking on this insert and choosing Rename. And let's again call this Shaker. And let's choose a color so it matches the rest of the drums. Let's now move this mixer insert channel over next to the rest of the drums. So make sure the channel's selected and then hold Alt and then press the arrow key to move this on your keyboard. We can also do the same on the channel rack by first selecting the channel rack and then make sure we have the channel selected that we'd like to move and then press Alt and the up arrow key to move this up. Okay, great. So we've recorded in our first piece of audio into this project and we've also organized the mixer and channel rack. Okay, one thing to note, this mixer insert channel that we used before, insert 20, is set up purely for recording. So when we play the audio back, the shaker will not come through this channel. Because the insert for this channel is our microphone input. The input for this shaker insert is shown up here in the channel rack. I find when recording, it's good to have a dedicated mixer insert channel, which I'll only use when recording, as this helps to keep the project organized. I'd also make sure I turn off Record Enable on this channel when I don't wish to record, just so I don't record anything by accident. Okay, so that's the end of this lecture. We've looked at recording audio and also organizing the mixer and the channel rack. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.